We're mic'd up with Montgomery.
Welcome to Real Talk, where real estate meets real conversations.
I'm Sean Harvey.
And I'm Brittany Newhart.
How are you today, Brittany?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah, it's a great day. Let's get into some topics. Well, what are you doing today? You've been busy.
What am I doing today?
Yeah.
I am writing up listing agreements, offers.
It is getting busier.
It is getting
After
very
holidays.
busy. This week has picked up drastically since the holidays are over now. Just been running around all morning, which is good. We'll take that any day of the week.
I like it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things coming out. There's some commercial, there's some land, there's some residential. So that's nice to see.
It is. Yeah. It's always good to get those new listings out there. And if you're looking for a property, commercial or residential, just always go to our website at montgomery-re.com and you will see all of the properties in the area. And if there's something that you're not seeing on there, let us know and we'll track it down for you.
That's what's nice is if you let your realtor know, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking for. We kind of write you down and we're like, okay. Even if you're not ready right now to buy, just be like, get your feelers out.
If the perfect house comes along, sometimes it makes you want to jump a little faster.
Well, or if they're ready to buy, but not we don't have to rush.
Right.
Wait for the house. But yeah, we can always keep you on a list and let you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. We all have lists in our office. Some of them are long, some of them are short. It doesn't matter. Whatever you need, we will try to track it down for you.
Yeah. So coming with that, how about listing your house? So let's talk about prepping it for showings and listing. So listing and showings kind of go together. Listing, obviously we want to get good photos and videos throughout. And then showings, every time there's a showing, you still want it to look just as good as the listing photos.
Yeah.
But it's a little harder last minute.
It is. Yeah. Sometimes when you're preparing your house for the listing aspect of it, you have the time to prepare because you've got that listing appointment scheduled. Maybe it's a week out, maybe it's a day out, maybe you don't need any time because you're a perfectionist and your house is always clean. We all know there's people like that out there. But those are oftentimes the easier ones to get ready for. But the hardest part of having your house on the market is if somebody calls me at 10 o'clock in the morning and they say, I would like to show that at 5 o'clock and you're at work. Well, then what happens? So we always like to say, keep your house every morning, keep your house as show ready as you can. If for some reason you've got family in town or something, we can always push showings around and juggle things around, but just try to keep it as good as you can. There's nothing perfect in the world, though. We know that.
But it's make your bed, make sure your bathroom's a little cleaned up and that, and then kind of just, if you can, put your dishes in the dishwasher or something, just the little basic tidying. Yeah. I'd say tidy. People aren't going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to buy this house because there's underwear on the ground, which maybe pick up your underwear. But, they're not going to not buy a house just because one little thing is out. But it's one of those things.
Yeah, it's always good to put the clothes away, the dishes away, things like that. And another thing that always catches your attention when you go into a house is how does that house smell? Yeah. And we all have pets. We all have different things. We have kids' pets. I mean, things.
I say it's a hard topic when you're listing a house.
It is,
to be and you don't want to be like, oh, your house stinks. But it's just you don't want it to be overly perfumey because that bothers people. You don't want it to smell too much like pets because then that's all people think about. And then you also just want it to smell kind of fresh and airy, especially in the wintertime when the house is closed up so much. You can't open a window. You can't air it out all the time, so sometimes you have to rely on those air fresheners.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt just to have a little air freshener in there just to take the edge off of whatever it is and keep it fresh all the time.
And comfort-wise, too, make sure your temperature is set at a comfortable temperature. You wanted the house to feel comfortable because you want people to envision themselves in the house.
And even if you have a vacant house, it is good to keep them at 60-plus degrees because if you go into a 40-degree vacant house or a 50-degree vacant house, it feels cold in there. It's not a warm feeling when you walk in that house. And, so, it's all about first impressions with listings. You oftentimes will never get a second chance unless you have a buyer that really, really thinks they can make that house work. But first impressions are very important.
So showing-wise compared to listings, showings you're going to want to really tidy up the house because it is going to be a photo on the internet forever. Whereas somebody walking through your house, they can look past a few things, but photo wise, everybody critiques some photos. So we usually try to make sure there's no dishes at all, make sure the toilet seat's closed, beds are made. We open the curtains up and stuff, let some natural light in. What's a couple other things for showings that you do?
Yeah, make sure all the lights for showings and listing appointments. It's nice to have the lights on, the lamps on. Sometimes when we come to your house for a showing, we are bringing that buyer with us. So they're walking in the door at the exact same time we are, and we're fumbling around trying to find light switches. And we have no problem doing that. We're pretty good at reaching our arm around a wall that we can't see and finding a light switch because we do it so often.
Yeah.
But if those lights are all on when we get there, it makes the process so much easier, and it looks so much more inviting to that buyer when they walk in right behind us.
Definitely, especially with a vacant house. If you have like those timed lights, that's always nice too.
That is nice. Right now it gets dark early, so it's really nice if we have some sort of lighting when we go into those houses.
That's true too. Weather-wise, if you have some outdoor lights you could leave on, that's nice because it's slippery. People walking up to the house, sometimes you don't see the slippery spots.
And always make sure this time of year that your sidewalks are shoveled. It's kind of a safety issue when we don't have sidewalks that are shoveled. And it also, everything that's not shoveled, we're walking up your sidewalk, and then guess what we're doing? We're bringing that somewhere into your house, whether that's your front entry, your mudroom, wherever that is. All that snow also gets pooled up somewhere where we take our shoes off. So. And the other thing, when listing a house, we do have the capability in our office to do the Matterport 3D tours. With those, that is, of course, elective to each seller, whether they want that or not, because that will show every aspect of your house. There's not one thing that hides. Yeah. When we do those, you can pretty much see everything in the house. So you can't...
You can click by click walk through the house, and look behind the couch type of thing.
Yeah, you can literally see everything. There's no hiding spots. So, and that's an elective thing. If you prefer not to have that because you feel that's an invasion of your privacy, that is totally fine with us. We'll just take pictures.
The nice thing too with the walkthrough though is it is a digital world. There's a lot of people that they want to see everything online, which it's good and bad. Like, good because people might be, this house is more spacious than I thought. Right. Or they'll be like, I already looked at the virtual tour, I hate the house, and not even give it a chance in person. So,
but on a,
but even photos can do that.
But that works two ways too, because the listing side of that, the seller then, if that person does do that virtual tour and they tour it on their computer or iPad or whatever that might be, and they say, I don't think that's really what I'm looking for, then you didn't have to clean your house for a showing.
That's true.
So. And the ones that you do get typically, if they've looked at that, are more serious buyers.
And we saw this a lot in 2021, out-of-state buyers.
Those were great. Buyers.
We did FaceTime walkthroughs with people, but that virtual tour just helped us a lot to not have to do like a FaceTime video constantly going into somebody's house, especially around COVID time. It was nice to have that. So.
And if we're going to do, and we still will do FaceTime or Zoom videos, that's not
especially for out of state.
Sometimes if we do that, we do like to try and let the sellers know that, just because they often, instead of a 15-20 minute showing, they might take 40-45 minutes, just because it takes longer to communicate and navigate on a small screen.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've probably mixed up listings and showings in some of my words there, but whatever.
That's all right.
We'll figure it out. Yeah,
you know
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Listings. Clean your house, deep clean, showings, quick kind of prep, get it cleaned up. Yes, it'd be great if you could deep clean it, but you might only have a few hours notice.
I would say from my past experience though, a house that has been either professionally cleaned or is just very clean sells much faster than a house that is not. So at the end of the day, if you can have somebody come in and just spruce up your house once, it makes a world of difference. You don't have the dust on the ceiling fans. People look at that and say, wow, this has been really well cared for. And then oftentimes those do sell faster, so it's less showings for you to worry about.
Yeah. Because you can have a really outdated house, but if it's very maintained, clean, picked up nice, like absolutely immaculate, people are like, I don't care if it's outdated. This is cozy. And like we can live here and update, but if it's disgusting and gross, they don't want to live there.
Correct. Yeah.
So other things too for yourself when you're showing, the seller is not there 99.9% of the time. Right. They shouldn't be there. There's some aspects where they might be, but normally the seller should leave. We try to let people know, like, hey, like especially if they're driving around with kids and stuff, like, hey, they're done, so that they can get back at a good time. But take your pets, or kennel them up.
If you are going to kennel your pets, though, make sure that you let the agent that's going to show the house know that they're in there, because sometimes
if they bark, we're like, nope.
Yeah, sometimes you hear some dogs in a kennel barking, but we don't know when we're entering the house that those dogs are in a kennel. And sometimes a dog is as friendly as can be, but their bark is terrifying.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then other thing, valuables too. You probably want to lock up your valuables. We're always there with people showing. There's not a random person walking through your house. The agent is always there. But still, like, you leave your medication on the counter. If you don't want people seeing that, put it away. Same thing with any sort of valuables just left out laying around, just so that nobody has to question it.
Thankfully, we really haven't had any issues with that, but we don't want to either.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, privacy-wise and personal stuff, belongings, just put it away. Maybe.
Yep.
But, next thing we're talking about is picking your agent. So it's kind of our real estate terms and facts stuff. Picking your agent, we talked last week that a lot of first-time buyers and a lot of people new to buying like different properties, like maybe they bought commercial, but however, picking your agent is important. So there is agents who specialize in certain things, but a lot of us in town can specialize in land, commercial, or
I would say most agents in Huron kind of cover the entire market, commercial, residential, land, whatever your needs are, because we're not a big enough market to specialize in one specific thing.
Yeah, there's more like we have one of our agents and stuff, he has rentals and commercials. So if there's questions more specific wise, we will talk to each other like that. But I'd say all of us kind of cover everything. But picking your agent, you do not have to go off the sign in the front yard.
No, you don't.
And you can shop around for your agent.
Yeah, so
there is way different personality.
Our market, we share listings. We cooperate with listings. So if it's my house that's listed or Brittany's house that's listed, you don't have to call us if you don't want. If it's another office's listing, you can call our office. You can call either one of us or anybody in our office, and we can show you that property. And the important thing to realize when you're picking an agent is pick somebody you actually enjoy talking to.
You're going to spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
Like looking at houses, yes, but also months between closing and picking a house.
Well, I actually, in August of 2024, I closed on a house, and my initial contact with that buyer was, I believe, February of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're in constant contact that whole time, but it took that long to find a house that they enjoyed living in.
Yeah. And like, you can interview and shop around for your realtor, but also it is hard if you just hop realtor constantly, because you're going to retell somebody your wish list. They're going to keep sending you stuff when you might be working with another agent. So sometimes it is to find a realtor and kind of stick with them in the sense, unless you have a reason to leave.
Right. Yeah, the best thing you can do is find somebody you like, tell them exactly what you want or what you need, and then have that person be your advocate for finding them.
Yeah. There's different personalities. Some people are very straightforward. Some people are more like, I'm going to like not baby this person, but walk through it like that. Like I get bad news and stuff, and we have to share it with our agents, and it sucks sometimes. And some people want that very gently. Some people want to go, here's this news, and it sucks. So,
but I think that's the benefit of finding an agent.
Yeah, find an agent that
you work with well, is that they're going to kind of know how you want the news relayed, how you want things to be processed. Some people are very laid back. Some people are very detail oriented. And then there's agents that are the same way. At the end of the day, I feel like we're pretty laid back, but we also are very detail oriented. So we're kind of the best of both worlds here. A lot of our agents at our office are very easy to get along with, I will say. So just make sure that you find somebody that you really enjoy working with, because it could be a very long process. Sometimes things go so smooth and you're like, wow, that was so easy. But that's kind of what we're doing on the back end, is trying to make it the easy way.
Yeah.
That's how, and sometimes you hit a bump in the road and things get delayed. And at the end of the day, we still figure it out. We still close. We still move forward. But there's no predicting the future. So you just got to find somebody that you enjoy working with and make sure that you get along with that person well so that you can talk these things through.
Yeah, definitely. So next topic, unless you have anything else to
say
with
with it.
it.
We covered that pretty well.
I think that's good. Next topic is going to be interest rates, and what we don't want to get too much into lending stuff because we will have a lender on to talk at some point about lending stuff. But what do we see as agents when interest rates drop or when they raise?
When interest rates raise, you have a higher likelihood of the listings being on the market longer. So when interest rates go up, it takes a buyer's buying power down. So if they were looking at a $250,000 house at 4% interest, when you get up to 7% interest, it might be a $200,000 house. And
which is hard going backwards.
It is.
Because that buyer's like, this is the type of house I want. And now they have to go backwards to something either smaller or less updated.
And we do understand that as a struggle. So and that's why sometimes things take a little bit longer for buyers to find houses. When interest rates go down, we see the opposite. The buying power, then, if you're at 200,000, you might be able to bump it up to 250 because it does fluctuate your payment that much. But when interest rates do go down, there are more buyers out there looking for homes because they can more easily afford a home. And that often translates into less homes on the market, as we've seen since 2020, or higher prices. Yes.
That's hard too.
Yeah, so those are all, there's a lot of fluctuation in that, and it's buying power, supply and demand. It just really, interest rates can change the whole landscape of the market.
I think that's kind of all we really want to cover with that section.
Yeah,
we'll get into more with a lender of kind of what future interest rates. We don't know really, like, hey, in so many days interest rates going to drop. Neither do they. It's
an ever-changing world of interest rates, and if you watch this episode 2 weeks from today, it could be a very different episode than it is today.
Yeah, we will say though, if we get down to that 3% interest rate again, it's going to be a crazy market again.
Yeah.
So,
and even right now,
a lot of people are sticking with. They're like, I will die in this 3% interest rate house.
Understandable.
Yeah. A lot of people are more willing to stay in their home because of that.
So. Which also translates to less houses on the market. Which, right now we have higher interest rates, but we still don't have a lot of houses on the market. And if somebody's looking to buy a house and they're relocating, or they need to buy that house, then now is a great time to do it. It really depends on your situation, but if you have a 3% interest rate and you really don't mind your house, maybe now's not the time to sell. It all depends on, buyer and seller situations.
Definitely. So what's our office like? What do you think it's like?
Well, I feel like
hostile environment.
Yeah, crazy wild group. Yeah,
horrible.
Yeah, a pretty laid back group of people. Everybody seems to really get along very well.
Yeah. I'd say we have a lot of different personalities, but we kind of all we're a mixed match family that all works together. Like we're similar but way different, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Very family oriented office. I would consider everybody in our office to be pretty much like family. We all get along very well. If you stop into our office, you're going to be treated like family too.
For sure. We always have kids around here too and stuff. So if you have to come down with your kids,
that's totally fine.
Entertain them.
We have some toys in our front lobby even for the kids. So
definitely, I think we're pretty warm and cozy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all like to hang out.
Yep. Yeah, and don't be afraid to just stop in and chat sometimes. You don't have to be coming in for a real estate thing. If you want to stop in and chat with any agent here, feel free to do so.
Yeah. Who's usually around the office, would you say?
Well, we normally have at least one agent on floor duty at all. Well, we always have one agent on floor duty all the time. I would say normally there's 2 to 3 agents here at any given time during the day. And then Rayma, our office manager, she's here from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. She's very detail oriented.
And she can get you a hold of anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
She knows how to find us.
She does. She knows how to track us all down. Yeah. Yeah. And then, we, like Brittany said, Amber's here doing some marketing sometimes. We have some kids running around sometimes. Yeah, it's just a fun place to be.
Yeah. And I don't know what else we have to say about that.
Yeah, we just welcome you to stop in.
We always have snacks, coffee.
Yeah, we do. We have snack bar now.
Yeah.
So how can you beat that?
Yeah. Come down and talk to us about houses and eat a Rice Krispie bar.
There you go.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
are you a planner or are you a go with the flow type of person? And how does, like, with real estate and personally?
Personally, I'm more go with the flow. Real estate wise, I have to have everything scheduled in my calendar. Otherwise, it gets to be mass chaos.
Yeah.
And even though you do have everything scheduled into your calendar, some days it's still mass chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, we are answering up to 60 phone calls a day, hundreds of text messages a day. I would say, I don't even know how many emails we answer a day, just trying to keep everything flowing in the right direction. So you can schedule things, and those are kind of like, I would say, the high points of the day.
Yeah. And well, like we have to schedule meetings and stuff like that, like base set things. Like we have our office meetings. We schedule those, but like showings, sometimes you have to really hurry up and show a house because they're have multiple people showing it, or it just came on the market.
Multiple offers.
Yes.
Or your buyer is in town from Sioux Falls today for a 1 hour window. And yeah, you have to. I could get a call. We could get a call in 5 minutes and have to show a house in an hour. And that's just fine. We're happy to do that. It's just, you can plan in real estate as much as you want. And then there's the reality of it where who knows what's going to happen at the end of the day.
Definitely. And like, we don't always know what's coming on the market from other offices. So randomly that morning, something might come on and we're calling 3 different buyers. So
yeah,
it's always kind of crazy.
Yeah. And I would say I recheck my MLS listings, probably refresh that about every hour so that we know what's coming on, what's going off, what went pending, and then what direction we should go with the list of buyers that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why it's sometimes nice to just be on that list to get those sent right away.
And now we want to take a quick break to give a shout out to one of our local partners, Diamonds in the Rough Boutique. Diamonds in the Rough is a men's and women's clothing boutique located in downtown Huron at 145 Dakota Avenue South. Their hours are Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you're in the market for some new clothing, get a hold of Diamonds in the Rough, downtown Huron.
Okay, so today's random question for you, Sean, is have you ever been told a white lie, like from your parents or anybody else, that you believed was true for the longest time?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was younger, I used to believe that if you held your face in a certain position long enough, it would actually stay like that.
Oh, yeah, like crossing your eyes or something.
Yeah, they always. I don't think anybody ever wanted you to do that, so they said. Yeah.
Which, nobody's tested it.
That's true. I never held it there long enough to find out.
Yeah, but there's a point where it does stick.
Yeah, and also another good one was that they walked uphill both ways to school every day.
Oh yeah. Such a hard life.
Even on the coldest days of the year.
Yep. My parents always told me, or my dad especially, he told me a lot of white lies. But he told me that like snakes couldn't climb stairs because I was deathly afraid of snakes and had an upstairs bedroom. So he's like, "Oh, you're good. They can't climb stairs. You'll be safe." And I found out at a later, like too old to think that was true age, that it was not true. And
that was just to get you to sleep at night.
Yeah, which is great. I'm kind of glad he did. Like, I'm fine with that. People tell my kids white lies. One of our friends have, and sometimes it's okay. Sometimes I'm like, we can roll with it.
Sometimes you don't really have a choice with your kids. Sometimes you need sleep, or they need sleep, or you got to figure something out.
Whatever works. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. Any other comments you have from today's video? Or like the rest of the comments about anything? We kind of covered a lot.
Yeah,
today.
We covered quite a bit. I'm looking forward to next week. What are we going to have on next week? I think we got some good topics.
Yeah, we might have a guest, so we'll kind of introduce that, so it won't just be you guys looking at Sean and I all the time, or hearing us, I guess, depending on how you listen to.
Maybe they want to.
I think they do. I think we get a lot of positive feedback. Note, we're going to have a guest, I think. We're going to do some technology in real estate, because technology is a huge part of real estate these days, especially when we were having those out-of-town buyers we were talking about, and in town even. It's just convenient. So.
It is. It's amazing how much technology you use in real estate, and what you can use it for.
Yeah, it's pretty
so
nice.
That'll be a
we'll
good
talk
topic.
about that. We will cover a couple other things. So like what is a CMA and how it helps us and how it helps banks around town too. So talk about that. So.
And then we're going to discuss realtor, real estate agent, broker, different things like that, and what defines each person.
Yeah. And then community-wise, what do we got going on?
Well, Fridays are VFW bingo every Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
At the mall.
At the mall, yeah. Big thing that's coming up is burger battle. I think everybody in the community is looking forward to that. So that starts Saturday, the February 1st, and is the whole month. And that, I know last year was a huge hit for a lot of people, and you can actually go to the Huron Connect website and look at what the burgers are and who is doing that, and the pictures that we're seeing online are they're impressive.
Yeah, I thought they were fake. Like I was like, oh, they just got this offline, but the professional photographer
came in and took them.
Yeah.
I think I saw one burger on there with French toast buns with powdered sugar, so that'll be interesting.
I'll keep to the classics.
Yeah.
I'll keep to the classics. You can do that out there.
You might just want to try it.
I might, but I don't know.
Or you could just have Randy try it. And
there you go. Yes, I'll force him to try it. Be like, actually, I want to bite of that just to talk about it.
Yeah.
I guess we can review some that we think are good. So. Anything else? James Valley Christian School is having their one act play, and what's coming up? Oh, Winter Crazy Days.
Winter Crazy Days in Huron, which is great. I mean,
downtown shops.
Got to support the local business, and it is very important that you do support local business. We got to keep those sales tax dollars in our community in order for new businesses to come to our community, and in order for our community to grow. We really need those sales tax dollars in our community. So support local as much as you can if you want the community to keep growing.
Yeah, especially when they're the ones donating to your kids' activities.
Yeah,
they're the ones donating a basket and gift cards and all the stuff.
Right, yeah.
Remember them. So, but yeah, we'll see you next week.
And remember, who you work with matters.